In the last episode, we looked at the laver, the place where reflection and washing meet. The mirror shows what is out of alignment. The water speaks of washing. And the word does both. It reveals, it corrects, it cleanses, it prepares the vessel. But after the mirror exposes what is out of alignment, we must ask a deeper question. Why was it out of alignment in the first place? Why do I keep returning to the same patterns? Why does pride rise? Why does appetite rule? Why does fear control? Why does desire lead? Why does anger take over? Why does comfort delay obedience? The answer may be this: something is sitting on the throne. Because the heart is never empty. Something governs, something decides, something leads, something gives orders. So the real question is not only, what do I see in the mirror? The deeper question is, whose throne is ruling within me? Welcome back to The Mirror of the Throne. In this episode, we are looking at the throne within. A throne speaks of government, authority, rule, order, will, decision. Whoever sits on the throne determines the direction of the kingdom. That is true in a nation, that is true in a house, and that is true in the heart. The throne represents the place of highest authority. It is the place from which commands are given. It is the place from which decisions flow. So when we speak about the mirror of the throne, we are not only speaking about identity, we are speaking about government. The word does not only ask, who are you becoming? It also asks, what is ruling you? Because whatever rules the heart will eventually direct the life. If pride sits on the throne, self-will gives the orders. If greed sits on the throne, security becomes the master. If lust sits on the throne, desire begins to command. If envy sits on the throne, comparison begins to lead. If gluttony sits on the throne, appetite becomes God. If wrath sits on the throne, anger becomes judge. If sloth sits on the throne, comfort begins to delay purpose. The throne reveals the government behind the behavior. This takes us back to the garden. In Eden, the issue was not only fruit, the issue was government. God gave instruction, but the serpent offered another way to decide. The question was simple. Would humanity remain under the Father's word, or would humanity become its own authority? The tree of life represented surrendered dependence. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil represented independent judgment. When Adam and Eve ate from the wrong tree, they did not simply break a command. They shifted the throne. They moved from the Father's instruction to their own judgment. Self-will entered the place where surrendered trust was meant to rule. That is why the fall was so deep. It was not only an action, it was a change of government. Humanity began living from another throne, and every sin that followed became a fruit of that inner government. But then Jesus enters another garden, Gethsemane, and there the throne question appears again. Jesus says, "Father, if you are willing, take this cup from me." That is real pressure, real suffering, real desire. But then he says the words that reveal the restored throne. "Yet not my will, but yours be done." That sentence is the opposite of Eden. Eden says, "My will." Jesus says, "Your will." Eden reveals independent judgment. Jesus reveals surrendered sonship. Eden shows man taking what the Father did not give. Jesus shows the Son surrendering everything to the Father's will. This is true man. This is mature sonship. Not a life without pressure, not a life without desire, not a life without testing, but a life where the Father's will remains on the throne. Jesus does not allow pain to become Lord. He does not allow fear to become Lord. He does not allow self-preservation to become Lord. He does not allow his own will to separate from the Father. The throne remains surrendered, and through that surrender, the path of restoration opens. This is where the mirror becomes personal. The word does not only expose behavior, it reveals the government beneath behavior. It does not only ask, "What did you do?" It asks, "What was ruling when you did it?" When I lie, the mirror asks, "What were you trying to protect?" When I become angry, the mirror asks, "What desire was blocked?" When I envy, the mirror asks, "Why has another person's portion become offensive to you?" When I overconsume, the mirror asks, "Has appetite become your God?" When I delay obedience, the mirror asks, "Has comfort become stronger than calling?" When I seek recognition, the mirror asks, "Has approval become necessary for peace?" The mirror goes beneath the surface. It reveals the throne, because visible behavior often shows what hidden government has already decided. This is why correction is mercy. The Father is not only correcting actions, he is restoring government. He is bringing the inner life back under his will. Every day there is a throne choice, and this choice is not always visible to the natural eye. That is why Hebrews 11:1 matters. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. The throne within may be unseen. The Father's will may be unseen, and the old government of self-will may be hidden inside the heart. But faith responds to what the Word reveals before physical evidence appears. Faith chooses the Father's government before the outward life fully shows the result. That is the daily garden choice. Will I live under self-government or surrendered dependence? Will I decide from fear or from faith? Will I move from appetite or from purpose? Will I protect pride or surrender to truth? Will I demand my own way or say, "Father, your will be done"? This is not a one-time question. It is daily, sometimes moment by moment, because the old government keeps trying to return. Self-will keeps asking for the throne. Desire keeps asking for the throne. Fear keeps asking for the throne. Pain keeps asking for the throne. But the mature son keeps returning to surrender. Not my will, your will. Not my throne, your throne. Not my government, your government. So here is the challenge. The next time the word corrects you, do not stop at the action. Ask the deeper question. Father, what was ruling me? What throne was I obeying? What desire was giving orders? What fear was directing me? What part of my will is still resisting yours? Then pray the prayer of the mature son. Not my will, but yours be done. Because the mirror does not only reveal what is out of place, it reveals what is out of government. And the Father is not only restoring your behavior, he is restoring the throne within. I'm Matthew Padiachi, and this is The Listening Ear, Faith by Hearing. This is the mirror of the throne. The heart is never empty. Something is ruling. The question is whether the throne within belongs to self-will or to the Father.